many of our young Black and Latino youth have been stopped and frisked and arrested for small quantities of marijuana, and they're giving them a criminal record. The city says that there is no money, so this is why they're closing schools and they're firing teachers, closing social institutions. However, the city has enough money, over $75 million a year, to arrest our young minorities for small quantities of marijuana. And we're saying that this has to stop, that the money should be given back to the communities to help the communities instead of hurt them.
We've seen a dramatic increase in the stop-and-frisk policies of the New York City Police Department over the past 10 years. It has devastated the South Bronx community. It's damaging to individuals who get stopped for no reason. It's damaging to their families. It's damaging to communities. It further creates a tension between the community and the police that are really there to serve the community. Instead, it creates distrust. And the racial profiling that goes on is obvious and apparent and destructive to everybody, which is why we're out here today.
The worst of those times, I was actually by myself and I was walking down the street and a car pulled up and 3 people got out of the car, 3 police officers, and started yelling at me and told me to get against the wall. And at that point started frisking me, and one of the police officers called me a faggot and sexually grabbed me at my ass and whatever. So I mean, they were all very invasive. I wasn't doing anything that at the moment that should have warranted that.
It's really been under Mayor Bloomberg's watch. I mean, in the 10 years he's been in office, the practice has expanded, 600%. We've seen a 600% increase in stops since he and Ray Kelly took over.
They have mobile towers that go up 5 stories high, and then they have, mobile precincts. And everywhere you look, you see flashing lights and young people thrown up against the wall. But the community has been so anesthetized by this over a period of time that they no longer respond. They no longer, see it. They see it as normal. The kids see it as normal. When they go to school, the NYPD is in the schools. When they go to the housing projects, NYPD is in the housing projects. When they get on the subways, man, NYPD is in the subways. And so everywhere they look, they're seeing this, and this is the world they were born into, and they think this is normal.
I think that the chorus of voices that has begun to be heard around this issue across the city is beginning to finally be heard. So I think that ears that were previously, deaf to this issue are beginning to actually, as a result of organizing and other community-based organizations and people rising up finally and saying enough, stop, everybody. I think they're beginning to actually finally hear this issue. Whether they respond enough will be interesting to see, but I certainly hope that they do, and I hope that this demonstration of people coming out and objecting to the stop-and-frisk policies in the New York City Police Department will give them some further support for moving in the right direction on this issue.
There has to be outside oversight of the police department. For far too long, they have been left to their own devices and allowed to do whatever they want. And we can see that unless they're forced to make changes, they're not going to do so.
I think there's something's really building, and we have a chance to change this.